for Gemini, and then I'm going to out. Anyway, this is what I have for you, Gemini. So this one I'm just going to focus on finances as well as your overall health, how things are working out. So again, you're all on different timelines. You all have different you make decisions on different dates, so just take it as it resonates. As I say, I'm just doing this one relatively. So Ace of Pentacles. First off, we are looking at this is about emotional healing. This is about physical healing. I feel like you also have some financial opportunities and some deep reflection on this month. So I feel like you are emotional, kind of emerging from over this next month, some kind of emotional and physical sort of burnout. You're kind of getting back to who you are and back to that spark or whatever you want to call it. So what I see here overall is there has been going through a cycle of depletion, like something has really pulled at you physically or emotionally or financially or maybe all. I feel like you have been in this space of it's time to come back to myself. It's something like that. So I feel like a new opportunity is coming in here, and it feels like this could be a job if it's, if you're looking for a job, but for others, if it's something to do with the physical body, it's like revitalization that's coming through. So there's a certain sense of lightness that comes in with this. And even though there's some kind of emotional distance, there has been, I would say, there's some kind of reconnection with that Three of Cups energy. So I feel like you're a lot more grounded going forward over this next month, and especially around your money and your physical health. It feels like there's hope again here. You have a lot of cards of rebuilding, and that goes for things around your self-worth. There's a lot more cards of independence. There's decisions that you're making here as well. Still quiet about how you're moving forward, but it's like there's a renewed energy all around. You're really pushing through. You're on the upper side of things, but again, rest, recuperation, relaxation is really what's warranted in this next month. But I feel like you're really doing a lot of introspective sort of handling of your affairs. So again, I feel like you are in that space where, again, the judgment through, it says, I'm not going to push myself. That's what that says right there. This is, I don't need to keep pushing myself, for the past. I need to start showing up for myself, which is that Nine of Pentacles energy, and that renewed energy, the Ace of Cups. And I feel like that's where you're at. I feel like this is where you're healing through your own self-sufficient, independent sort of means, the way that you sort of deal with things is along that same line, self-sufficient. So you're rebuilding, and it's more about emotionally and materially, physically, getting all of those things lined up. I feel like you're beginning to detach away from, over this next month, the things that were giving you a sense of shame or a sense of guilt or not being enough or whatever the fears were. So I feel like you're moving away from that. You're detaching from it because the heart is starting to return here with the Ace of Cups. So there's something here about that energy of you return, you're juggling less, you're simplifying your life in some way, you're more emotionally stable, financially grounded, all of that. And I feel like you're more connected to yourself inwardly. There's also some kind of inner knowing, even on a spiritual level, you have a better sense of things. And again, even with the Four of Swords, there's something here that recovery is happening. And of course, there's also the Seven of Wands, so you're really pushing through it. And I feel like, the body and the heart just period are resting. So these are like small wins, I would say, because they're minor arcana, but there's something here that is just giving you a lot more joy and a lot more peace. And you now realize that everything's going to be okay. It's that kind of energy. So I find that this is the energy of, again, physical healing, emotional peace, some small financial breakthrough or a milestone or something that's coming over the next month. And again, there could be a financial opportunity that comes in early in the month. It's small or foundational, but again, it helps you to move ahead. But I feel like by mid-month, you're likely receiving something around finances or a little bit more around that. By the end of the month, and again, that's moving into May, it's like balance is restored and you're starting to feel safer. You're starting to feel more confident, like you're no longer in survival mode. So again, money arrives in stages, but the biggest shift is in your mindset first. And so By week 3 or 4, that's where the finances start to become more clear. But like I said, as far as tension and fatigue, which is that, which is the Two of Pentacles and all of that in the Four of Pentacles, that sort of tension and fatigue, I feel like that's where you're moving away from that. So there's something here about needing stillness and able to recuperate with the Hermit card. There's still a lot of energy there. Virgo could be coming through here as well for some of you, but it feels like your full emotional recovery with that Four of Swords is still a little further out. But again, that's something that's still in around the sense of it'll starting to become recovering in full. Hi, Eternal Light. But you're starting to return in some kind of way, to back to yourself. Like I said, I just feel like you're moving away from fatigue and isolation, because I'm tired. But either way, I just want to say that this is, you improving with sleep, recovery, and physical energy. You're just getting a lot stronger here over the next month. So again, I feel like if you had some sense of numbness, which is really what that Hermit and the Ace of Cups would be, if you had a sense of numbness kind of on an emotional level, I would say you're moving away from that. This is really that energy of starting to forgive, soften. It's like a gentle awakening of the heart. It's something like that. You're starting to feel again. You're realizing your outcome is to have peace, not perfection. And I feel like that's where things are headed. So again, there's still deep reflection going on about the past and decisions. You're doing some strong inner work and making some sense of things, and maybe that's through this physical recovery as a part of that. But I feel like your first signs of emotional freedom and your energy returning is probably about that second week, third week, is where you really start to balance things out. You make some real choices to simplify your life. By week 4, this is celebration, this is stronger, lighter, happier, and definitely ready for what's coming in next. So again, we had the Three of Cups, so there's a bit of a celebration that's coming in there. Definitely some good cards for the next month anyway, from September or from April 22nd through to the end of May. So I just feel like you've grown wiser and your heart space is opening up, and I feel like you know what matters to you now, and you're not going to hold back, and your peace is important. So that's what I have for you for the next month. Keep moving forward.